What's up, guys? It is Joey back again, and so I was watching a few videos yesterday. Mind you, I'm packing. There's a bunch of boxes, so please excuse the background. But I'll be moving. We'll be moving on Saturday, so yeah, that's the deal. Uh, anyway, so the topic for today that I wanted to talk to you guys about is body shaming. So I was looking at somebody else's video. They were talking about body shaming, and I personally feel like body shaming has been. I've had a lot of experience with body shaming when it comes to me and growing up. So let's start from the beginning. I want to tell you um, how I came to find out that I was fat. So I remember my dad always filmed us. He had a big video camera and he would film the family, ever since we were babies and stuff like that. So there's videos of me when I was like a year old till like, I think 11 or 12 years old. I don't remember. But so my dad would be filming and he'd be talking while he's filming because I guess he assumed that he was going to send the videotape to his mother that lives in Colombia. But sometimes that wouldn't happen, so we would still end up keeping the videotape and, we still have it. So I remember going back to one of these videos. I think I was like 10 or 11 years old. And I remember watching this video of me like running in the park or something like that. And then I remember my dad saying while he's filming me, he's like, "Oh, she's a little fat, but she can lose the weight." I remember I was wearing the shirt and like these shorts, and all my life, I've always been thick. Uh, Comparing to my mom, my mom is more like the petite body type. She has skinny legs. She doesn't have big hips. She's not boned, hip boned. She doesn't have big hip bones. Um, I've always had big hips, thick ass legs, and that's just how I've always been shaped ever since I was young. So I guess to my parents, I always seemed fat because I don't look like my mom. That's what my thoughts are. So growing up, my mom always felt like she needed to control everything that I ate, especially because, being born with spina bifida, I was always having to eat like things with fiber and stuff like that. But I feel like my mom would like take it to like another level and try to control my weight, even though I wasn't really fat. So I remember her controlling everything I ate when it came to home. But then when I went to middle school and high school, that at the schools I would end up eating whatever I wanted to eat. So I would take advantage and eat cookies and Chinese rice and pizza and whatever I wanted to eat and desserts and stuff like that. So I remember when I was like 12 or 13 years old, we moved from Little Havana to Palmetto Bay, and I ended up gaining weight because I was very active in Little Havana because I had friends and everything, and I had a bike, and I stopped being active in this new neighborhood because I didn't have friends, and I just wanted to stay in the house most of the time and watch movies like the whole summer because I wasn't going to school. So I gained weight, and it kind of made me self conscious because my mom would always mention it. So then I decided to try to be anorexic for I think a day and a half, and I didn't eat rice or whatever that I saw that was greasy, and I ended up like fainting in the bathroom one time, and my dad had to knock the door open, and I remember he picked me up. Um, and he put me in the sofa, and then they called 911. And long story short, they're like, "Okay, you need to eat." All right. And so they left, and they just left me be. And I got so scared because I fainted. um I was probably low in potassium or whatever. Because I've always been low in potassium and iron and whatever. And so that happened. And then my mom decided to put me with a professor, some guy that would come over to the house to do yoga. Not because I wanted to do yoga. I think I was like 15, 16 years old. And yoga seemed so boring to me because it was so slow. Um, and then the guy that was teaching me how to do yoga, he started getting all weird after one time I came from my friend's house and I had like makeup and I was dressed differently. Usually, he would see me like with sweatpants and a shirt. But this one time I was dressed really nice and he looked at me differently. I remember this. I was 15 years old and he goes, "Oh, hi. You look very pretty." And this guy was like around 40 years old. And I go, "Thank you." And then my friend looked at me all weird. He's like, "Who's that guy?" I'm like, "Oh, he's the yoga teacher." He's like, "He looked at you really, he like perverted." I'm like, "Yeah." So then after that, he started treating me differently. And I felt like he was making me do positions. Um, it was the same positions, yoga positions, but it felt like he was just trying to be flirty and stuff like that. It was weird. It made me uncomfortable, and I told my mom, and then she just stopped the whole yoga session and stuff like that. So that happened, and then growing up in high school and stuff like that, I was still self conscious. I always thought I was fat, and even in college, and then I also dated guys that would body shame me. I remember I was dating someone when I was like 19 or 20 in college, and we went to the mall and I wanted to eat something, and so I bought like Chinese rice or something like that. He's like, so we sat down. He's like, "Oh, you're gonna eat that?" And I was like, "Yeah." And that really like pissed me off. And then I decided later to break up with him because it made me feel bad. Like, why am I gonna date someone that is trying to tell me what to eat and what not to eat? I didn't like that. Um, and I also have a sibling that would like, I guess he's like the reflection of my mom. So I remember I bought like a Pop Tart, and he decided to circle like the nutrition and how fatty it was, and he decided to write on my own food that I bought, saying that it was bad for me. And I went off on him, and that wasn't fun. Um, so it's body shaming when it's even in your household. It's gonna mess with you. It's gonna mess with your self esteem and stuff like that. So when I was like around 25, I started working out. I went to the gym after a really, really bad breakup. I felt like I was just so angry and upset and depressed. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna take this to the gym, take all my feelings to the gym. So I did that for like a year and a half, and I was really, really, really fit. And I was very confident and, determined to do anything that I wanted to do. I went back to school and stuff like that. And I started noticing that guys were treating me differently. Even at the gym, people would come up to me and try to talk to me, and I thought that was really different because that never, ever, ever really happened to me. And then when I was younger, I was really shy. But at that point in my life, I wasn't really shy anymore. I was really more social and stuff like that. And so people started talking to me, and so I noticed that wow, this is happening to me now because I'm fit, but it didn't really happen before. Looking average, and I also started meeting like douchebags, and I was getting comments from guys saying that, "Oh, you're really, really pretty and you're really fit." And guys had these comments where they were like, "Girls like you look like you're easy, or that you go around and um, date a lot of guys." And so I had those type of comments for a long time, and I just didn't like it. Like, how are you gonna judge someone for the way they look? Um, so a really, really beautiful girl, gets a lot of sex, that doesn't mean anything. It has nothing to do with your looks. So I didn't like that. And then after that, I just got sick. One of my small intestine got clogged up, and that changed everything when it came to working out. Because once I was healed up, I went back to the gym, and I still felt like a small pain. So I was traumatized that I was gonna get sick again. So I ended up gaining the weight back, and I was really upset over that because I felt like I worked so hard to lose the weight. And so, just these obstacles that happen, like my weight is just up and down, up and down. And so that happened. I also had a trainer, and when she looked at me when I came back from the hospital, she just looked at me and she just had a face of like disappointment that I gained the weight back. And I felt like after that, she just didn't really, really try like how she used to try when it came to training me. So I just lost motivation, and I didn't train anymore. And I completely stopped going to the gym. It was just, I lost motivation. And then I was also stressed from work and stuff like that, and different things in life. And so with all of these experiences, household shaming, family shaming, friend shaming, I also didn't like the fact that I was like, if I'm gonna be fit and people are gonna disrespect me and assume that I'm a certain type of person, then I'd rather not be fit and just be myself, whatever. I'd rather have people like me for who I am and not the way I look, in all honesty. So, just took it easy. I felt like my mental health was like the most important thing, not my body. And my personality was like the most thing that mattered in my life. So when I got pregnant, I knew that I I was scared that I was gonna get depressed, and it was gonna like eat my brain, um, thinking that I was gonna gain weight and that I was gonna get stretch marks and everything that comes with pregnancy. So I mentally prepared myself, especially having postpartum depression. I knew that that was a possibility for me because I do suffer. I have been suffering from depression ever since I was like 12. Um, so these days, it's better. Like, I haven't been depressed in a long time. I probably had a little bit of postpartum depression because of the big change of having a child and, not being able to be as selfish as I was before. But it wasn't a really big deal at all. So I knew that I had to mentally prepare to look at my body after pregnancy, and also having a C-section, it got infected. The incision got infected, so I couldn't really work out. So girls out there that are able or were able to work out after a pregnancy, like, you're so lucky, because I couldn't really do that. I had to heal from a crazy incision and a crazy surgery. And it was the worst experience in my life, having a C-section, like the aftermath. So what I've learned is that, looking at myself, things are going to happen as a woman. Us women go through so much crap when it comes to our body. And you could be this skinny and you're still going to find something that has to do with your body. Also, I felt like I had to eliminate people from my life that were too self-conscious of their own body, because I felt like that wouldn't be good for me, because there are people out there that are, super fit and stuff like that. They're always at the gym, but I feel like they are like the most selfish conscious people, obviously, because they're always at the gym. So I feel like they try to feed you with their baggage when it comes to your body, and they want to try to make you feel bad about your own body. So I've had friends like that where it's really annoying. When I've had friends saying, "Oh, Joey, you need to go to the gym. Joey, oh, you were doing so great when you were at the gym. What happened? Blah blah." So, and it was like, it's like mind your own business, But I couldn't say that. I'm not gonna say that. So I felt like I had to be surrounded by people that weren't gonna body shame me. So yeah, I that's why I don't have the same friends. That's another reason why I am with my fiance, because he never ever ever said anything about my weight, and he always made me feel comfortable, and he's always loved me for me. He's never complained about a thing at all, and he sees me for me, and that's great. And I love him for who he is as well. And I've read comments of talking about him, how he's my fat boyfriend or whatever. And honestly, I really don't care about that. I don't know how that affects other people. It's my relationship. If you like it or not, I don't care. I love him for who he is, and he's the best guy in this world that I've ever encountered in my life. So that's that, really. I am who I am at this point in my life, and I love who I am. I'm very happy that I don't have to deal with all these people telling me about my weight and stuff like that. I know who to stay away from when it comes to that. So if you're in that situation, you need to find a way to distance yourself from people that will try to make you feel bad. It's your body, you do what you want, and you don't know what a person is going through, honestly. People's weight also fluctuates depending on medicine, or their stress level, their depression. People go through things, and you need to understand. Sometimes you won't understand. Sometimes people, if you think that you're close to a person, you think they're going to tell you how they feel. They're not going to tell you how they feel, because it's something deep within that you're probably not going to understand, because we all go through different experiences in life. So yeah, that's how I feel, and nobody should be body shaming anybody else. We all have different bodies. We all go through different things, and it is what it is. So tell me what you think. Do you have a experience like mine? Comment below, and that's that. Thank you guys. Have a great day, and be good.